What's going on? My name is Marcus Whitley, and this is Good Behavior. Now, you can find me on all social media at I am Marcus Whitley and find any of my books, Both Sides of the Street, Choices and Consequences, Greatness Under Pressure, and Battling Demons, all on Amazon. In today's episode, I want to read another chapter in my book, Both Sides of the Street, Choices and Consequences. Now, this chapter is called Ambition of a Hustler. This is about the life of a drug dealer. So I want you to listen in as I share my experience. When you think about drug dealing, you think about the flashy lifestyle and living like a boss. In movies and music, drug dealers are portrayed as always being the coolest, most successful people who are living the life of luxury. Not only that, it looks like it happened to them overnight. You can work anywhere you want, buy whatever you want, no rules or anybody telling you what to do. Seems like everyone knows and loves you. Who wouldn't dream of living that life? Not to mention that women love drug dealers because they've bought into that same stereotype. But what you don't see and these media images don't tell you is all the work that you have to put in. You aren't thinking about everything that comes along with hustling. It might look like fast cash and like you don't have to do any hard work, but that's far from the truth. You'll be slaving in the kitchen for hours, cooking on a stove and bagging up until your hands cramp up, making sure that everything's perfect. You have to be great at math and science to understand what you're doing. The last thing you need is to be off on your bags. If your bags are too big, then you're only shorting yourself and losing money. Everything has to be on point. More importantly, everything has to be perfect and perfected. On top of that, you need a great supplier. You need to learn if your product is pure or stepped on. By stepped on, I mean if it's cut or mixed with anything else. You need the best product if you want to keep customers coming back. Not only that, you also want a supplier who will not tax you or charge you so much money that you won't make any profit. When you've got all that taken care of, you'll have to find a block or corner to stand on or a hallway to post up inside of or wherever you plan to sell the product. Then you need to find out if that spot is available before you decide to even take it. Let's say you come home one day and someone you didn't even know is inside your house with all their things like they just moved in. How would you feel? I wouldn't be happy. I could tell you that. If you try to invade someone else's spot, that'll be a problem for you. You're either going to get run out of the spot, beaten up, or killed. Drug dealers are territorial, and if you're in their territory, they're not going to ask you nicely to leave. So make sure you're aware of what you're doing because it will be a war. People kill over money every day. The goal is to get paid, not go to war. Trust me, going to war is more costly than anybody can or would even want to afford. Now, if you have a car and you can deliver, think about how you're going to find your clientele. It's not like you could ride around with a sign on your car. You have to know where the demand is and if that delivery is going to be worth the money it would cost to get there and back. If you have to drive 20 miles for $15, that's not worth it. You're going to spend more on gas, not to mention the time it's going to take to get there and back. They sure as hell don't tip. That's a fact. But if you feel like you really need it and don't care about spending more than you make, then don't let that stop you. Just be sure to think about the risk as much as you think about the reward. The moment you put drugs in your car, think about what would happen if you get pulled over. There are canine units for that sort of thing. Police dogs are trained to sniff out drugs that are hidden in all type of cars. It's not like you can outrun the police when you're in a car. And you can't dump the drugs. It'd be pretty obvious if you try to throw them out the window. They're going to see that. The only option you'd have is to swallow them, which would either kill you or leave you with serious problems. Or you can pray that you don't get caught, but you will get caught. And then you're going to jail. Once you're in custody, police could charge you with possession, distribution, trafficking, or a number of things. Now you're looking at a lot of jail time, years. You could do what a few people have done and say you're a drug addict and that you were taking all of those drugs, not selling them. that might get you out of going to jail, but most likely you'd be placed in a rehab facility, which will be a lot less time than you get if you were incarcerated. Whatever you choose, make sure you think about all of the possibilities and what works for you. If your heart is not completely in it, then don't gamble away your life. It's not worth it. Now that was a chapter, Ambition of a Hustler. I hope this was able to give you insight on what that world is like. Now, my name is Marcus Whitley, and this is Good Behavior. Until the next episode.